Hello and welcome back to another segment on Bach Remedies, and Happy New Year. I hope everybody enjoyed their holidays and is now resting and had made their resolution. So what is a resolution? Because that's what we're going to talk about, and how do you keep to those resolutions. A resolution is basically a decision to do or to not do something. And for some reason, we find it very valuable to have a resolution. We out with the old maybe and with the new, or maybe start a new year fresh. It kind of gives us a clean slate, or maybe it's just a motivator. It helps us kind of give us some new goals or some guidance to what we want to look forward to or what we want to achieve for the new year. Or maybe just because it's tradition, that everybody wants to have a New Year's resolution because it's good to have one. But are you aware that only 8% of the people actually keep their resolutions, which is a pretty high percentage of people that do not actually follow through? So what are those key top resolutions that we're talking about? Think about what would you think would be the number one? Well, if you said weight loss, you are absolutely correct. That's the number one. People are going to evaluate. They're going to be healthier. They're going to make better decisions with their eating habits. The second one would be probably about quitting something, whether you're drinking or too much, or maybe smoking, a bad habit. They're going to want to quit something. The other one would be probably exercise. Let's again kind of coincide with the weight loss. Maybe we want to, be more health conscious about, getting out there and getting our bodies moving the way it should be. Saving money is another top one. We want to maybe, we've especially after the holidays, we spend so much money. We want to be able to know how do we cut back and be able to save for that future. What about being more organized? I know that's one for me, that I always want to be more organized, and sometimes it's very difficult to get into a pattern of being. It's okay to declutter, but how do we keep from not going back to the ways that we used to do? And then spending more time with family. I mean, having that work-life balance is always a key resolution, and we always say we're going to do that, but then we all get caught up in the day-to-day stuff, and we end up not doing what we promised to do. So how do we avoid being that 8%? How do we get to be more to be able to keep, so that we are 100% keeping to our resolutions? Because if you don't keep to your resolutions, what happens? We end up with all these negative emotions. We feel like failures. Some of us feel guilty because we didn't do the resolution. Some get very frustrated or discouraged because maybe the resolution was a little too hard for us. And some of them, maybe if it's when it comes to your physical, having weight loss, sometimes we're disgusted with ourselves because we were not able to keep to that resolution. So let's look at resolutions, and realistically, should you be even doing a resolution? Okay, but if you want to, how do we stick to them? And the main thing is to set realistic goals. I mean, we can help with the emotional aspects. We're going to help guide you. The flowers are going to help you with that. But you got to be realistic about the goals that you are able to keep. So let's take, for example, some of the resolutions that are the top ones. So weight loss. Is it realistic to say, I want to lose 20 pounds in 1 month? That may not be realistic. So if you can't keep to that, you already failed before you even started. Start with very small goals. Maybe it's just about, losing 5 pounds, or maybe it's not even about a weight loss. Maybe it's about, changing your eating habits to eating healthier and getting rid of the sugars and the carbs. Or maybe it is just cutting your portions, or it could be just, again, drinking more water. I mean, these are very simple solutions to help with the resolution that you can sustain and be able to feel good about and have a reachable goal. How about quitting a bad habit? Now, just don't go cold turkey. If you're used to smoking, if you want that drink and you cut cold turkey, now you're shocking your body. So maybe it's more about cutting back. Be realistic about the amount and slowly work on to a point where you're satisfied, where you don't need that, having to have that habit. Exercise. Exercise is always hard because you get really excited about it. You want to get out there and you're going to pound the pavement, but then for 3 days you can't move a muscle because you outright just overexceeded yourself. Again, maybe it's not going to the gym for an hour and working with a personal trainer that's going to be yelling in your face. Maybe it's more about taking a brisk walk 3 times a day for 5 minutes, or just 5 minutes per day. I mean, be realistic about how you achieve to increase the amount of activity that you can do. Saving money. Now, saving money is very difficult, but maybe it's a matter of just, avoid stores for a little bit. Or maybe it's just about, where you go out to dinner maybe 3 times a week, cut back to once. or where you're going out to dinner, maybe kind of come down a little bit where you're saving a little bit more, and actually save that money. So that money that you're actually going to use, put in a jar, and maybe you'll be able to see the results, because it's basically, when we start these resolutions, we want to see results pretty much right away. And if we don't, we get very frustrated, okay? Organization, again, same, start with the drawer. Don't start with the whole house, okay? And then spending time with family, make a calendar schedule. Actually do it. Don't procrastinate. Just get out there and actually put it on the schedule that you're going to meet with these individuals, these family members, and enjoy their time. So how can the flowers help during these situations? And again, it's an emotional connection. So when you're looking at making resolutions, lots of times we have, we call the saboteurs, especially when it comes to diets and exercise. So if you're finding that you're very subservient, weak-willed to that saboteur, then take some Serato. And Serato can help, will help you with, basically trusting your own intuition and being able to stand up your ground, that you're going to stick to that resolution. And then we have also, we're going to do chestnut bud. And this is a great one for those who have not learned from past mistakes. So you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. This one helps you to, learn, look at those mistakes and be aware of what you're doing so that you don't do them again. And of course, breaking a resolution is a habit. So we want to be able to have that into your blend. And then of course, we have Squamanthus here to be more decisive. What is realistic? What do you want? Do you have trouble making the decisions or the right things to do when you need to do them? So this will help with that decisiveness. And this is what I call my resolution kind of blend. But there are other blends that we can make. Of course, you just want to, choose them yourself by taking the individual test. Or you can go online, the BachRemedies.com, where you can do the remedy chooser, and now that becomes more personal about what you want to work on, because no two people are alike. Now, these flowers that I have are those in case you do break those habits and you get that frustration, that feeling of guilt. What do you do when you do that? Do you beat yourself up about it? Of course not. You don't beat yourself up about it. If you take large here, for it to have confidence, this way, the fact that you failed doesn't mean you're never going to, that you would continue to fail. Get back on the horse. Take some large for your confidence, okay? And then we have the pine. Don't feel guilty about it. Move on from it, self-reproach. Of course, we have gentian. This is for discouragement, feeling very frustrated through those situations. This will actually help you be able to accept those setbacks and move on from it. When we also have the crab apple, this is the one for imperfections. Accept your imperfections. Dieting is very, very hard to do, okay? It's a journey that you need to go through. Flower remedies are journeys that you need to go through when it comes to emotional states. This is a great one for self-acceptance. Love who you are no matter what size you are. It does not matter. You have to accept yourself. And always, walnut. Remember the walnut because it helps with your transition. Now, if there's any situation where you feel you're overwhelmed by everything that you're doing, don't forget the rescue remedy, which is the combination of the 5 flowers that Dr. Bach had said that would help during that crisis, that acute situation moment. Okay, so again, when you're looking at flowers, you're looking at just trying to put in perspective and balance, give you clarity of what direction you want to take that resolution. And by all means, it's really up to you and only up to you to make those decisions and what type of level of, pressures that you may want to put on yourself to be able to stick to that resolution. But it's really, really up to you, okay? So when you're asking about the flowers, keep in mind how you're feeling today, what's holding you back. What are you struggling with? What are situations that you have not worked, that you've experienced and you have not worked on? Those are the things that you want to focus when taking the flowers, okay? So you want to be in that moment. Now, for next week, our next session, okay, when you continue to continue being with us during our broadcast, we'll keep, talking about different situations that will help you get through the everyday, life, just living life, okay? But most importantly, for this one segment, because you all tuned into us for the last couple months and we did that wonderful giveaway, we actually have a winner. And I want to thank you all for participating in our little giveaway. We had over 2,000 registrations, which was phenomenal. And I've just loved all your comments and all that. So I do hope that you continue, because we will continue to do more giveaways. So stick with us with our broadcast. So for this $865 value, the random person that was picked through the system was Bethany Santos. So Bethany, lucky to you, good resolution of starting a whole new journey with the Bach flowers. And we will be contacting you with all the details about how you're going to be getting your kit. Okay, so next month we're going to talk about relationships, and is your personality holding you back from having a good relationship, and what is it about relationships? Can you connect? Are you willing to be less selfish and more tolerant towards relationships? So when it comes to that, that will be that conversation we'll be having next month. If you're wondering where to purchase the flowers, go to our BachRemedies.com. Well, not only can you get the remedy chooser to identify which flowers you need, but you can also see the store locator where you can click on there and it'll guide you right to that store that would carry the line. Also, for those who e-commerce, who don't go into stores, who rather do it online, you can look at Lucky Vitamins as well as Amazon. So I thank you again for participating today and watching our broadcast. And as always, be all that you can be. Thank you and have a great day.